And then on the 19th, we have Kiki Van Gogh. On the 20th, we have Haggis. 25th, which is a Monday, Ali Reza. 26th, Laurentis. On 27th, Pete Phoenix. And on the 3rd, November 3rd, December 3rd, I should say, Orza Menagerie Tinkle. So, the rest of November and a little bit of December already booked. So yeah, I think we're done putting ourselves over. No, Kaliko?
We're never done putting ourselves over. Can't stop, won't stop. No Diddy.
Well, we are wrestling with the news. And it was a great day for wrestling and America as WWE Hall of Famer. There is now a WWE Hall of Famer back in the White House. So that's a W for pro wrestling fans for sure.
I don't know. I don't like when politics gets stuck flips into wrestling, because now Batista and Taker got a whole beef going down, and I'm like, oh shit.
You're not wrong about that.
And it's like, well, why can't we? Because wrestling used to be the one spot it don't matter. In politics, we need to worry about people who takes baths versus people who don't take baths before we get to.
Well, I mean, us as pro wrestling fans have to deal with that as well. If you've ever heard our access conversations. So,
I mean,
like but that's not where the real story is, though. The real story here is, in honor of the election this past Tuesday, AEW put the rest of their 2024 tickets for their events for 40% off. While on the flip hand of that side of that, WWE put an extra 40% on all of their tickets.
Really?
No, that last part was a joke.
No.
But no, AEW did put their tickets for 40% off on Tuesday. I feel like that's a bad sign for them, right? It has to be.
No, because WWE does it too when they have like those last minute tickets to get sold.
I mean, WWE doesn't really have to worry about that now. They're selling out left and right at $450 a pop. So, AEW, they're lucky if they get maybe 8,000 in a 14,000 seat arena.
I mean, yeah, true. I mean, but the Herd Syndicate's back.
And that'll put asses in seats.
That'll put asses in seats. Flavor of the week. I love Lashley. Don't hurt me, sir. But
I'm not the one hurting you, man. It's totally that's be hurting you.
We're just following the trend, sir.
Well, speaking of the trend, no more Combat Wombats. They are now the Debt Riders.
Isn't that the name of Moxley's finisher?
Yeah, and I mean he's called the Debt Rider as well. But now they're the Debt Riders, plural.
I guess Rough Riders was taken.
Yeah, I would say so.
Arf, DMX.
The Combat Wombats was a lot better than the Debt Riders. Debt of sounds like a indie garage band, if I'm being honest.
The Blackpool Combat. I mean, it sounds something like Charlie Dempsey was doing.
What does Patrick Dempsey have to do with this?
I mean, it's its dad. Regal was part of it.
I mean, isn't Patrick Dempsey dealing with the girl with the one pat legs? Or am I wrong on that?
I said, is it Charles Dempsey? What the hell is? Am I missing the wrong person? We might be mixing our Dempseys.
Well, I'm talking about McSteamy. Who are you talking about?
William Regal's son?
Not. You're not talking about Hornswoggle, right?
Oh, heavens no.
That was actually Finley. I think it still hits. So yeah, we got the no more Blackpool, no more BBC on AEW.
Well, you don't want no BBCs. I mean, they got 3 BBCs in there.
And yet they can't sell a ticket.
Oh, Lord.
AEW tickets 40% on sale now.
I mean, it's not new.
Speaking of selling tickets, Ricky Starks, he has, he made he will be making an appearance pro wrestling, later this month for an independent. He hasn't wrestled since February, I believe it was, stated. And he will be wrestling, friend of the show, Cody Lane. Coco. Congratulations on Cody for landing that match. I know that him and Ricky had some type of relationship before he went to AEW. But what say you, Kaliko? Ricky Starks, taking independent bookings.
I mean, I thought they always took in. That's nothing new.
But, I mean, he's not working WWE. I mean, he's not working AEW, I should say.
But, I mean, all AEW talent takes independent book. I mean, not all, but most. The ones that are not, like, with the 8-figure deals that are former WWE superstars are taking independent booking.
I mean, it's been, like, what? 10 months since he's wrestled in AEW?
Well, that's just him getting his sea legs bound.
I feel like it's more than that. I mean, they haven't... When you're out of sight, out of mind in Tony's toy chest, he's not using you. And Ricky was a victim of that. I mean, look at Miro as well.
I mean, Miro was the flavor of the week.
I mean, at least Miro got a run with a title. What did Ricky do?
Didn't he get the FCW title at some point?
Oh, gee, a title that's not even recognized by AEW.
You got the Jericho feud? No.
Who hasn't had the Jericho feud?
Good point.
Alistair
Black has not had.
Scooter had a rivalry with Jericho at one point.
Oh gosh. I thought that was Jericho having an issue with calendars or employee handbooks. There you go.
I feel like Jericho's had again, rivalry with everybody.
I mean, good for him. I just think, to me, it's just it sounds like to me it's just more about getting his bearings about him, his sea legs back, getting those sea biscuits back, buttermilk biscuits.
I think it's a good step in the direction for Ricky to finally get to the WWE, where we kind of already know he belongs. So,
You really think he's gonna just stop?
yeah, I do. I definitely do.
Wouldn't he be there by now?
Contracts, bro. They're a hell of a thing.
Oh yeah, frozen time. Which is weird because they don't. I mean, he let some people go and then didn't let others go, which is weird.
And another rivalry and AEW has is with NXT. They went head to head on Wednesday, um, the first time in a while again, and obviously the election was Tuesday. NXT moved to Wednesday for the night. 2300 Arena. Great event for sure. NXT did a 319 or 619 if you wheel over AEW's 523. So pretty good margin. They beat AEW. And
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's
continue.
And for those who say, well, the question is, are AEW fans going to give you the argument that demographic ratings don't matter anymore?
I mean, that's what Dave Meltzer presents when he does these. He does those when he releases the ratings. Oh well, NXT did well for that time that they were in that slot, but for AEW, well, obviously the gas station opened up across the street, so that definitely caused a loss of viewership. But they did really well. They did very well. The thing is, AEW was beating NXT when NXT was probably at its strongest, and AEW was at its weakest. NXT is kind of in the middle at this point, and AEW has has their legs underneath them, and they're still not drawing those people. It's been declining rather than growing in the last 5 years.
But I already told you why. Everyone knows why. They're not expanding. They don't want to expand. I think they're just happy being the alternative.
I don't think so. In order to, uh, in order to just be the alternative, you still have to offer the people, the fans that are watching it, something to hold on to, and it's been slowly getting worse and worse as they go.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. To me, I think there's a group there that's just going to be there regardless. So why would they have to impress the people that's going to be there regardless? It's like season ticket holders. I've already got you. Why in the hell would I go out? Why would they go out of their way?
But I mean, even those people with the season tickets, they didn't hold on to them. They were at a good margin where they were holding on to the people, at the 8-point demographic. Maybe 9 if they had something that people really wanted to see. And it slowly declined in maybe the last 2 years, I would say.
I mean, can only decline because they're not giving anything. Well, to some, they think their stories are lacking, which they are. But some people like it just.
John Moxley.
I mean, some people like it just the way it is, though. You know? And that's not the. I mean, can't knock them cats. They love it. They love it. I don't think that's how you would want to grow a business, but hey. But they have at least they have a ceiling.
And that ceiling is slowly coming down on them.
I think so.
Yeah, I do.
But I mean, it ain't coming down. They just signed a nice ass deal, so they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I think that the people at TNT must have been high when they ran that, when they signed that contract.
I told you it was leverage, and you keep looking at everybody crazy. Inside, the most popular show on TV ain't gonna be there no more. They had to put something there.
I think Tony Khan had some convincing powder in his pockets during that negotiation.
Oh no! Everything that happened in coinciding with that decision. When Warner Brothers decided, yeah, we ain't dealing with that shit. That's when, hey, you never get what you deserve. You get what you can negotiate.
And maybe these people didn't negotiate very well. It was announced the Elimination Chamber will be in Toronto. I believe we previously reported that it was supposed to be in the UK, in England. What are your thoughts on it getting switched from an international pay-per-view, or PLE, to a North American PLE?
That ain't nothing new.
Huh?
That ain't nothing new. I mean, it didn't make sense with the tour anyway.
I feel like Canada's gotten a lot more PLEs than they...
Canada's popping. Drizzy Drake is popping.
From what I hear, Drake's in hot water, so...
I mean, Drake's been as shit for a minute, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. Then I felt obviously something would have happened that they wasn't able to do it in England. I can't imagine they won't be doing something in England sooner rather than later. I mean, they did just announce that they're doing a whole string of Raws and SmackDowns in Europe leading up to WrestleMania 41.
And that's their what's the word? Get back. Because think about it. I mean, that ain't the first time. Didn't they have a show in Canada during the WrestleMania 40 tour?
I mean, Canada's no. I mean, they're doing a whole European tour before WrestleMania. Usually, they do a European tour after WrestleMania.
I mean, because I think. Oh well, we'll see. So that tells me Money in the Bank is going to be somewhere else. It's going to be. It was in England last time. They might get it again.
You might not be wrong about that. It is going to be interesting to have Raw and SmackDown have that rapid European crowd right before WrestleMania. But I do wonder how rapid it's going to be, considering that these are going to be primarily basic Raws and SmackDowns leading up to Mania. rather
Depends on
than a
depends on the
be so
card.
PLE.
Depends on what they're trying to build to.
Well, obviously, Cena's last match, Cody and
Yep.
whoever he's wrestling, Gunther and whoever he's wrestling.
And the one everybody's hoping Roman rocks. So
I was still leaning towards Cody Rock, but who knows at this point.
Cody Rock. I mean, yeah, it could be. I mean, it's 2 nights, so it ain't like it. Could be a Cody Rock, Roman Rock.
Cody Rock, Roman Rock.
hmm Rock getting double duty, so he could get double the pay.
I highly doubt he's gonna work 2 nights in a row.
If he's putting himself over, you damn right he is.
Uh, you might be right about that.
No, don't put it past him, sir.
Somebody not putting himself over, but a lot of other people are, for obvious reasons. Dutch Mantel, having some health issues right now. We do hope that he kicks out at 2, whatever might be going on around him. But there is a GoFundMe going around for him. So if you do want to donate to Dutch, we would recommend that as well. Anything you want to
Indeed.
add, Kaliko?
I mean, Dutch Mantel was. He's one. I would say them unsung guys because he was one of the USWA guys that got a lot of talent through. Everybody just see him as Zeb Coulter, but Dirty Dutch Mantel, man, he was the man. He was one of the big pioneers in the Memphis wrestling scene.
And obviously, he was one of the guys that discovered The Undertaker, so there's that as well. Again, hopefully he kicks out at 2, and we could keep Dutch around for a while. Somebody that definitely kicked out at 2 is Kenny Omega. Made a return at Power Struggle. Cut a promo in front of the live crowd, went backstage, and got into a physical altercation with Gabriel Kidd, setting up a potential Gabe Kidd match. Did you see what Kenny Omega said, or was you aware of what was going on? And if you are, what was your thoughts on it?
I'm just glad he looked healthy.
He did.
Hey, that's the biggest key. I mean, I saw when he came back, so I'm just glad the man's healthy. Because we thought we would have lost his ass to diverticulitis.
Right.
So just that alone tells me, like, good shape in New Japan. I mean, he went back to his roots. So it means he's going to be a face returning to AEW against the Bucks, which is going to be kind of crazy because the Bucks fired him and then they were heels and then then they're losing, and the story is that the Bucks are going to save AEW from Death Riders. So it's all confusing.
Yeah. But then again, we have Adam Cole betraying MJF, but now MJF's the bad guy and Adam Cole's the good guy, and yeah, these are AEW rivalries right now. But I mean, low key, it kind of felt really nice to see Kenny Omega in a New Japan ring, if I'm being honest. It felt so right. It felt like that's where he belonged. Yeah, so it kind of, when Kenny Omega left Japan for, Kenny Omega left the New Japan for AEW in 2019. Low key, he kind of stopped being as special as he used to be. You know what I mean?
Because he didn't wrestle that much. AEW, I mean not AEW, but New Japan gave him the aura of, because they always did the tag matches.
Right.
So he wrestled without having to wrestle. If that makes sense.
Oh,
Which I give New Japan props for that, because they make it, that's how they built their feuds.
But I mean, when Kenny Omega came to America, they made it an event. It was, well, you better buy your ticket because Kenny Omega doesn't come here that often. And then it kind of low key became not that because obviously he was stateside. So, oh, well, he's a part of AEW. I'll catch him the next time he comes around.
Or he's with TNA and I'm going to catch him. Or he's wrestling AAA. I'll catch. Yeah, his schedule got. Which is crazy because you would think your schedule would get lighter.
Right.
As your ass gets stateside.
Right.
My man's schedule got heavier.
And I mean, he was. I don't want to say he's in the eve or the twilight of his career, but he is getting up there in age where things are supposed to be lighter, not necessarily harder.
But keep in mind he was starting a company from the ground, so yeah.
Even more so to even more so to
go lighter.
Go
but
lighter.
I mean, if he wasn't gonna become champion, I think his schedule lighter. But when you're the champion, the schedule gets heavier. As it should. You're the guy.
Okay, tell that to Roman Reigns.
Roman's different, goddammit.
Well, speaking of different, at that same show, I believe it was at that same show, Sonata turned on just 5 guys to become a part of Bullet Club. That's where New Japan is right now. Sonata is now Bullet Club. I'm low-key surprised he didn't join House of Torture and become Evil's tag team partner again. Kind of.
No. Oh hell. What? 2 former New Japan champions. Granted, he became stale after he became champion.
I feel like he became stale after he lost the championship because he never did anything to
solidify the championship reign.
I would say solidify, but he didn't do anything to make himself be important after it. To say, well, I'm still, a top guy.
I mean, that's on New Japan, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they had him lose and then get help the man who beat him, which, okay. Cool. So it was rather redundant, if you will.
Right. I just feel like, basically everybody's been Bullet Club at this point, and it really doesn't make any sense. It doesn't doesn't mean anything anymore. You know what I mean?
It almost, I mean, 2/3 of LIJ is Bullet Club. Tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, definitely right.
So yeah.
on Raw this upcoming Monday is New Day. The show is dedicated to the New Day, which I feel like low key is an omen that something's going to happen with the New Day.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that just screams New Day again, breaking up, right?
Right.
The question is, who's gonna break up with who?
What are the odds that Big E comes back and flattens them both?
Me dunking a basketball?
You mean, is that good odds or bad odds or?
Bad odds, buddy. I'm 5'7". Bad odds, bruh.
Alright, Big E comes back, but Xavier Woods laid them both out.
Me shooting an NBA three-pointer. Low odds, but higher than me dunking. Because Big E's not cleared yet, is he?
I mean, he's closer to getting cleared now than he was a year ago, I'd say.
Yeah, but he ain't close enough to getting bumps, getting his ass dumped on his face yet. I mean, at least I don't think so.
If Xavier Woods does leave, does he join the Last Testament?
No, I mean, personally, this just shows the Last Testament always has been good about showing people who they really are, or making them the opposite of who they are. I mean, I guess the only person that doesn't happen to is Miz, because Miz was a bad guy, became a good guy, went right back to bad guy.
Well, I mean,
Turned on our truth, and they got kidnapped for his troubles. So there you have it.
And I believe this is our last bit of news. Goldberg announced his final match in 2025. I think we could all sing hallelujah at this point, no?
Goldberg was he's okay, man. I mean, people don't like that shit was popping in the 90s. People just don't like that he's doing that shit now. It's like that one band that does the same song in all their albums. Like, motherfucker, show some depth. That's what it is, but
yeah.
But if
yeah,
that's what I was about to figure out. Who is it gonna be? Who could it be?
Braun Breaker? Gunther?
Oh God, no! No, Jesus, no! Gunther?
Cena?
Boy, stop!
Well, I mean, who would you pick?
Himself.
Okay, well, I don't think we're any near close or cloning, so I don't think that's gonna happen.
I mean, Rock?
I mean, if they get past the allegations, but I feel like we've already kind of went down that road, didn't we?
We did, but it was a good road.
I mean,
Both of them on some loser leaves town shit.
I mean, it was good for the time that it was, but I think, leave sleeping dogs lie. I mean, if that was his last one with him and Brock, that would have been perfect. Had the squash match at Survivor Series, win the title, lose it to Brock at Mania, go off into the sunset. But they kept bringing him back. Because Goldberg.
I mean, he's a name, dude. He's a name. He's a famous name. He's a Georgia Bulldog, goddammit. Y'all give him hell, but I give him hell, but he's a Georgia Bulldog and a Falcon, sir.
And whenever his last match is, I'm going to call it. I'm going to say it's going to be in Georgia. I don't think it's going to be like a WrestleMania or a PL. I mean, obviously it would have to be a PLE in Georgia, but next time they're in Georgia, that's going to be his last match, I would say.
Well, that shit shipped and sailed, sir, because you're just in Georgia.
I mean,
that shit might be.
It's next year. They could do another PLE in Georgia next year. It's not a crime. I mean, they've done like 15 in Canada.
Yeah, that's my point, which means Georgia ain't getting one for another. Shit, San Diego got a show January 2024. Took them a damn near whole year just to come double back.
Yeah. I mean, the last time they were there was January 1st, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it ain't like it's a given.
I mean, if they want his last match to be special, I think that's the crowd they want.
I don't think the Georgia crowd is the same Georgia crowd that you're thinking of, sir.
Well, I mean, the Georgia crowd that we saw at that Blood was pretty welcoming to Goldberg.
Yeah, that was because Goldberg was in the fucking stands.
I'm sure whatever happens, we'll be covering it. Alright, I believe that will conclude our coverage of the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.